Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm excited to sit down and just try some new makeup. I have a fragrance from Leda. I have some just exciting stuff that I want to play around with, and I just haven't had a chance to sit down and do a full face trying new makeup. You guys love these videos. I love filming them, but I get so many requests like, where are your full face videos? So here we are today. I'm a little nervous because I have some products in here that I don't think are going to be my favorite, specifically complexion, but I'm going to try them anyways and give you my honest feedback. So of course I will link everything that I tried today down below in my description box. If you're new here, I hope you stick around and subscribe. And if you enjoy trying new makeup videos, give this video a thumbs up and let's go ahead and get into it. Before we get into the makeup, I wanted to say thank you to FabFitFun for sponsoring this portion of today's video. If you're not familiar with them, they are a seasonal subscription box delivered right to your door, including full-size products from beauty, wellness, fashion, home, tech, you name it. They really have such a good value because you can actually choose and customize what you want. The winter box is valued up to $350 and you're paying a fraction of that price. My winter box ended up having a retail value of $269 after I chose the products that I wanted, which included brands like Grande Cosmetics, Slip, insert name here, Commodity. Being a member also gives you access to shop the FabFitFun flash sales, and they happen a few times a year. We're in the midst of it, so you can get up to 70% off on these flash sales if you're a member, and that's going on right now for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So if you're shopping for your loved ones, definitely check out the flash sales, as well as possibly getting a box, customizing it, and then breaking those gifts up for a crazy value. Now, if you're interested in signing up to become a member of FabFitFun, I do have a couple codes for you. So the first one is for the seasonal members. You can use the code BabsBeauty to get 20% off your first box if you sign up to become a seasonal member, making your box only $47.99. And then they also have a new promo this year, and that is for annual members. You can use my code BabsBeauty gift, and that will get you a $200 free gift for new annual member signups. So all of that information and codes will be down below in my description box, but either way you slice it, if you do sign up to become a member, there are so many perks to take advantage of. So I just want to go ahead and show you what I chose and got in my winter box from FabFitFun. The first product I chose and I was really excited about was this full-size fragrance from Commodity. So this is Commodity Milk. This is a really nice, smoky, milky, creamy scent that's not overpowering. It's not too spicy, too heavy. I feel like that's perfect for the holiday time. This is $75 retail, so I'm happy to now have it in my collection. The next product I chose was the Grande Cosmetics Grande Lash MD. So this is their lash enhancing serum, but this is a 3-month supply. This retails for 68 bucks, and I was like, wow, you know, I need to do better about using. I always forget to use these products, but they really do make such a difference when you apply them to your lashes every night before bed. I'm gonna go ahead and gift this to somebody because I know a lot of people swear by this product and something that I feel like a lot of people would love to try, but obviously it's pricey out the gate. Okay, so I saw this cute little stocking stuffer gift from Slip. So Slip has really nice silk hair ties. Silk is way better for your hair and your skin. 3 of these Slip silk scrunchies, the thin ones. This is just something you can never have enough of. I feel like I'm always like, where are my hair ties? I can never find them. So I just thought this was such an adorable little kit, and it retails for $25. Another hair product that I thought I would just get use out of was these clips from insert name here. So these retail for 18 bucks. A lot of people use these type of clips on YouTube, and this is something that I will use if I'm trying to do my makeup and I don't want my hair to get in my face. I'll just clip back, and that way it's out of my face, but it's not leaving those annoying crease marks in your hair behind. So you can honestly never have enough of these around the house, and they're cute too. And for my last 2 choices, I actually chose jewelry. So I have these earrings from Ana Luisa. These retail for $48. I own so many pairs of earrings from Ana Luisa, and they have the cutest huggies, really small hoops. So when I saw these, I was like, yes, like immediately, because I love the huggies from Ana Luisa. They are so cute, and I'm sure you guys have seen me wear them them in a million videos. Mine have held up beautifully. And then the necklace is from a brand that I've never heard of, Marilyn Schiff. And I thought this necklace was so cute. I'll have to put some close-ups in, but I tend to go for dainty necklaces. And I thought this was really cute, again, just to mix up and wear in my videos or everyday life. And I do tend to wear earrings and necklaces more so than anything else. So when I saw Ana Luisa, I was like, yes. And then that new brand, I thought the necklace was super cute. So that was everything I chose to come in my FabFitFun box. Highly recommend them if you're looking for gifts or you just want to try a bunch of new brands that are high end for a really good value. I will leave all the information and codes down below, as well as the links to sign up to become members. And I think that's all I had to share about FabFitFun, but let's go ahead and zoom in and start on a makeup look. Okay, so I forgot, but we have one more product before we get into the makeup, which is my thoughts on the new Leda fragrance. Leda is owned by Stephanie. She is a doll. She's absolutely stunning. And she came out with the 22 Oris as her first fragrance. Absolutely beautiful fragrance. This one shocked me, and it's like nothing else that I have in my collection. It is fresh, sweet, sophisticated. I mean, just 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. I'm serious. I will link that down below. So she just came out with a new fragrance, and this is the Vanilla Nera. So this one, I've been wearing it to try to figure out my thoughts on it, and it's growing on me. This is a warm, cozy, sweet vanilla, but it has a little bit of spice to it, and it also has that pine mixed in. And when I say pine, I don't want you to think like you smell like a tree, but there's this little bit of pine mixed in to that spice that makes it a little bit different. So on the skin, it's definitely warm and sweet and cozy, but it doesn't have that just like base flatline vanilla. It's kind of boozy, which shocked me because I don't think it has any notes that are actually like alcohol based. And you have to wear it to really see how it sets in. I think a lot of you would like this. I think it is the perfect time of year. This is a fragrance that I would only wear in the cold months just because it does have that, I don't know, cozy Christmas feel to it. But I'm excited to see what else they come out with because truly, like I said, these fragrances are extremely unique. I've not found any other perfumes like these, so they're doing something super special. So I will link these down below. I'm sure they're having a sale for Black Friday as well, so definitely check these out. But I just want to give you my thoughts because some of you guys were asking me. Okay, so I want to start on an eye look. I want to do something super simple. I always say that and I never do, so we'll see where we go. I don't plan anything. I'm not somebody that can like plan ahead. I procrastinate. I see what works and I just go with it. So this is the new Lawless palette. It's called the Dreamy Dozen. It looks like you get quite a bit of depth in here. Just looking at half of the palette, you have these deeper tones and then you have really light shades on this side. So it is kind of split up to where you have like actually 6 deep shades, and then you have 3 really light mattes, and then you also have shimmers. I don't know how their formula is. Lawless is a clean brand, which typically is not my favorite for eyeshadows. Lawless has a lot of products that I like though, but I just don't know eyeshadow wise. These don't feel like my favorite ever in terms of swatching them. I feel like the matte swatch really nicely. The shimmers are just a little bit more gritty than I'm used to, but again, I just have to apply them on the eyes and see what I think. So to start out, I'm gonna dip into this really light, almost like peachy color. They have a little bit of powder kick up, but nothing bothersome. Seems pretty pigmented just off applying it. So I'm just blending this as a base. Jumping over to this shade right here, it looks like a really sort of rich camel color. I'm using a smaller brush. These are pigmented. Just comparing to like the Kosas, they have a little eyeshadow palette and it's much more buildable. This one is pigmented off the bat. I'm just sort of blending that out just to get a little bit of dimension, but. So for the center of the lid, I'm just gonna take that light shimmery color, just pull this down and blend the edges. Yeah, so I feel like this is something that I've noticed with a lot of clean beauty brands. Their shadows are just more on the natural side, which is not a bad thing. And I prefer, if I'm going to use a shimmer, I prefer that it really pop. And I'm just gonna go over the edges And then I'm gonna try to dip into this deeper warm brown. And I wanna use this on the lash line just to give a little bit of depth, although I don't know if this is gonna be dark enough. It's pulling pretty warm, so I'm gonna jump to that middle brown just to add a little bit to my lash line. Okay, so I never do this, but I'm actually gonna leave the eyes there. I'm literally just gonna move on and put some mascara on, and I wanna try out this LYS Beauty Lash Confidence Mascara. So I'm just gonna go ahead and curl my lashes with the Refer Lash Curler. Okay, so for the mascara, it has one of those curved wands, which I actually like. It feels more dry just as I pull it out of the tube. So I wanna see what kind of volume and length I get. Okay, so this is definitely giving me length. I would say not a ton of volume. It's not bad. I'm getting volume, I guess, at the root, but it's giving me more length on the majority of my lash. It's definitely buildable. All right, so here is the mascara on both eyes. I don't know, I feel like it's okay. It definitely gave me length, not much volume. It gets to a point where it's starting to get a little bit clumpy, but I'll wait until this dries and then I'll go in and curl them again with the lash curler and see if they lift up. But I wanna move on to complexion, and I'm a little afraid, but I have a sample of a newer foundation that I don't think I'm probably going to love, but I wanna try it for you guys regardless. So I got a sample of the Glossier Stretch Fluid Foundation. I got this with one of my Sephora orders. It says it's light to medium coverage. It moves with your skin, or it moves with you. I don't know what that means, but I don't want it to move. Lightweight, fluid formula, 32 flexible shades, buildable, natural finish. So I'm just going to kind of mix these together. On the card, it has very light 1, and then medium 4. So I'm just gonna kind of customize these to hopefully have enough to do my face. But I'm first gonna go in with my Freck moisturizer just because I wanna use products that I know work for me so that the foundation has the best chance of working for me as well. All right, so my moisturizer's on, and I'm actually gonna try something different. I'm just gonna use moisturizer. I'm not gonna go in with my smoothing primer. I usually do use the primer I know works for me, but I wanna see how this does with nothing underneath, which is a scary thought. So I'm just kind of mixing the medium and the light shade haphazardly just to kind of blend it on my skin, and then we'll see how this blends. I feel like sometimes I tend to dip in and get a huge blob, so I wanted to spread it on the skin a little bit first. Does it have a scent? I feel like I smell something, but coverage I would say is more than what they claim. Light to medium, I would say this is more like a light medium, maybe even more. Okay, so this is how my skin is looking with the Glossier foundation on. I would say that the coverage is definitely higher than they claim, which kind of shocks me. It's a medium coverage, very thin, but again, it has that texture. It's very dewy. They say natural. I would say it's dewy. Looking at my skin right now, I mean, it's extremely glowy. This is one of those that I feel like is just not gonna wear well on me, but I'll have to leave a comment down below. It's just one of those that I feel like is gonna transfer. So that's why we're going in with a bunch of cream products today. I wanna go in next with the Vive bronzer. I purchased this recently, and I think this is a really nice formula. It's pretty warm, but I feel like that's kind of on par with Jamie. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the BK Beauty 112 brush. Tons of my brushes are dirty, so I have to get on cleaning those. But I really like a small brush because I do tend to get a little out of hand with my bronzer, and I do like to do concealer after cream bronzer. That way I can clean up anything that goes too low or too high, because again, I just find it kind of difficult to keep the placement where I want it, but blend it out. I do like to use really small brushes, and that's one thing that helps. My hair is so light right now, it's really hard to blend into. It's hard anytime, but it's like impossible at the moment, so I'm trying to just be as careful as possible. Okay, so this is what the cream bronzer looks like. So you see how I pulled it down a little bit too far here? I'll just go back in with my foundation brush just to sort of clean it up a little bit, and then I will use concealer to brighten up. But that's how I like to do cream bronzer. I just find that it can be a little tricky. This formula, I don't find that it has like a crazy radiance, and I don't find that it's hard to work with. I just think in general, cream bronzers are harder to work with for me personally. But I wanna go in next with concealer. And today I wanna try out this BabsBeauty Super Serum Silk Concealer. So they sent me a couple packages. I don't know why I just gave you like, you know, pew, pew, pew. I'm losing my mind. Ian's home, he just got home with Christmas decor. I wanna put my decorations up. I'm like, okay, let me get this done so we can put Christmas lights up. So I'm a little Looney Tunes. But this is the Super Serum Silk Concealer. So they sent over the shade Light 2. They sent over a cream bronzer, some powders, so I'm gonna try to incorporate that in videos to come. But I wanted to try this because I felt like serum concealer really goes with the Glossier vibe, with the cream products. So let's go ahead and apply this in the areas I need help. It feels pretty moussey and thick, which I actually don't mind. Usually when I think of serum concealer, I think of liquidy or super heavy and emollient. This one feels kind of like your standard concealer. I'm gonna let it sit for a second just so I can get some coverage. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and use this Zoeva brush. I have to clean my brushes in the worst way. You really don't wanna know, it's pretty bad. And my sponges, which I dread. I have like super dry hands because I'm an overwasher. And so anything that has to do with like water or the sink, like cleaning my sponges and brushes, it's like a nightmare for me. And I'm like, no, I want someone else to do it. Ooh, this looks really nice. Nice and hydrating, good coverage. I've heard good things, and I believe I have, or they sent me the foundation. I wanna say that's the same brand, Yensa. I've heard some of you guys recommend, so I'll have to try that as well. Okay, so this is what the concealer looks like before I set it. Very hydrating and not as light of coverage as I would have thought. Again, a lot of times when something says like the skin concealer or the serum concealer, it doesn't have any coverage, but I feel like I got a pretty decent coverage. I would say a medium coverage. So I actually really like this. I'm intrigued to keep trying this, but I wanna go in next with some cream blush and cream highlight, which I never do. Okay, for cream blush, I have these two new shades from Persona Cosmetics. So the first one is Bloom. These are the multi-sticks, which they are super nice. And they also have these, I wanna say in contour bronze shades and then possibly highlight. And then the next one is called Guava, which I'm sort of leaning towards just because, you know, it'll give me a little bit more oomph. So I think I am gonna go in and start off with Guava. And I'm just gonna use the same brush I used for contour or bronze. I just wiped it off. So I'm just going to grab the product and then stipple on my hand just to get an even layer and start applying. The shade is absolutely stunning. I really like this formula. And I usually do my cream blush over powder, but because we have so many liquids and creamy products going on, woo, that is gorgeous. And again, if I bring it in a little too much, just take your foundation brush and just sort of blend. Ooh, so pretty. I love, love. And I do find that this blush formula from Persona is pretty pigmented, but it's not as crazy as like the Rare Beauty. And it's emollient, but not heavy, which I appreciate. Because sometimes I feel like they can just be so dewy that you can't work with them. Okay, next I wanna try to play around with this liquid highlighter I picked up from Vive. So this is the Vive Nova Glow Liquid Light, and I got the shade Bijou. I usually would use this under my makeup, but I didn't want to change how the Glossier looked. So I thought we could play around with this on top. So this is what the shade looks like. I don't really know how to use these products if you're going to use powder, because I mean, obviously I have to set my face. Even if I just set the center of my face, my jawline would be worn off in 2 seconds if I don't set it. So I thought we could try this before we go in with powder and then possibly after. I'm just gonna dot this on the high points of my skin, and then I'm gonna use a small highlighting brush. I just don't get how the no powder girlies live. It's just not something that I understand or relate to. I mean, it gives a really beautiful glow, but again, once I put powder on, you know, what's gonna happen there? So just blending this out. It's more of like a lit from within type of glow, but I wanna go ahead and try to set. And this is where things get a little hairy because we have so many creams going on. I'm trying to figure out how to set around this without disrupting the products. Okay, so to set my T-zone, I'm gonna use my Lunar Beauty powder. I have raved about this. If you didn't see my last video, I'm absolutely in love with this. So I have the shade Light, and I'm gonna use this in my T-zone to start. So I'm just gonna blend out any creasing, and then I'm gonna try to do sort of like a pressing, sort of tap this into the skin. I feel like you just don't get as smooth of a finish than if you were to use a puff, but this is what the natural girlies do, you know, and I just don't understand it, but I'm willing to give it a shot. So I'm using like minimal powder. I'm also going to press into the forehead. And just to be safe, I'm gonna use my Dior powder to set the perimeter of my face. I feel like this powder is one of the best powders to go over cream products. I don't know, I feel like a lot of loose powders tend to lift. So I like to just use this only over the cream products. But my skin is looking okay. I still am not thrilled. I feel like this is just gonna wear pretty horribly. I can just tell. But I'm gonna go ahead and finish my brows off camera, and then we're going to move on and try to finish the face, and we'll see what we think about everything. Okay, brows are on. I went ahead and curled my lashes too, which it just makes such a huge difference. We'll see how they hold up, but I'm just gonna take a little bit of my Fenty bronzer in Private Island, just a little tiny bit, just back here so that I don't lose that bronze. And then just to add a little bit of blush back and also try a new product, I have this blush from Makeup Forever. This is the Artist Blush in Anywhere Peach. So they sent over a few different shades. This looks like a really light peachy shade, but I thought it would work well. So we'll see how this applies over whatever else I have on. So this formula feels pretty tightly packed, like I'm really running my brush in to get payoff, but I will say this is a lighter shade. That's a really pretty color. Okay, and to add some more highlighter, I wanted to demo the new ABH Glow Seeker highlighter in Sun Idol. This is just not as good as the Amrezy ABH. I feel like it's good. I just thought I would demo this today. It has that like baked gelée formula, but there's something about it that I just don't like quite as much. I feel like this one's a little bit more flaky or glittery. It doesn't have as much of that smooth creaminess that the Amrezy one has. It can kind of dust all over, if that makes sense. So then I feel like you kind of have to clean up around it, and I'm just not in love with it the way I am with my Amrezy one. So I don't think it's bad, but it's just like a little different. So in this video, I also wanted to demo and try the Easy Bake and Snatch from Huda Beauty in Pound Cake. This is the pressed version of her loose powders, which I think are phenomenal. Before I tried that Lunar Beauty, those are my ride or dies, and I still would recommend them. They're super smoothing. So I was excited to try this. I've tried it a couple times, and I've seen some reviews, and I can definitely agree. I don't know why, but there is luminosity in this powder. And that is really like the last thing that I want in areas I'm trying to smooth. So I'm a little bit like, why would there be luminosity added to this powder? Because the original loose doesn't have that, but I wanted to demo for you guys, and I'm just gonna apply a little bit. I did notice that this does brighten. And when I say luminosity, I don't mean crazy, you know, like liquid highlight or glitter, but just, I'm gonna do one side of my face and hopefully you guys can see. It just accentuates your texture. Like I feel like now that I put that there, I can see my pores all the way around here. And if you have dry under eyes, it's going to enhance. So yeah, like I can already see that it's just textured here, whereas on this side, we don't have all that texture. I don't know why that would have been put in this powder. I'm just gonna go over it with my other puff, but I just wish that it didn't have that because I feel like it does have a brightening effect, which is nice, but the luminosity or the glow to it, it's just not blurring. So if you're expecting blurring like the loose powder, definitely do not think that that's what you're gonna get out of this. All right, so to finish this look, I wanna go in with my ABH lip liner in Sandstone. I don't have a new lip liner that I can think of, so I just wanna use this to outline my lips and then try a new lipstick. All right, and for lipstick, I wanna use this L'Oreal lipstick that I purchased at a drugstore a few weeks ago. This is in Fairy Tale Ending. I think this is a matte liquid lipstick, but the shade just really spoke to me. It's a light pinky nude. It feels like it was gonna be more peachy, but swatching it, it looks a little more cool tone, so I don't know how this will do. I'm just gonna blend it in. So it feels very thin. It has a little bit of that tack to it. I don't know if this shade is what I was wanting because I feel like now my lip is looking sort of terracotta, but the actual formula feels nice, although I did sheer it out. That's typically what I do. It has a little bit of that tack to it, but let me know if you've tried this. I mean, it definitely looks darker on the lips because I did sheer it out, but I'm trying to think what other lip product I want to apply on top. Okay, so I went ahead and looked through my stash and I have this e.l.f. lip oil that I picked up recently. This is in the color Rose Envy. I don't know if I've talked about these, but they have a similar doe foot to the Dior, but I just don't feel like these are the most shiny or hydrating. They're pretty, but I don't know if they're my favorite. I would say they're a decent formula, especially for the price, but not like, wow, like some of e.l.f.'s other dupes have been. But I thought this shade kind of matched what we have going on here. And these also strangely have like a minty scent. So it just gives me that glossy sort of look with the flush cheeks, although I feel like I need more blush and I'm kind of wondering if I should try this. So this is the same Makeup Forever formula, but this is a different color in Wherever Rose. So let's just try to add a little bit of this. Why not? You know, there can never be enough blush. I like that this formula is buildable. I'm gonna go ahead and just blend into the center of my face. That is a beautiful shade. It's almost like, ooh, like I got some sun, even though, you know, we're about to be in the dead of winter here. I think I may have used a little too much blush, but you get the idea. I feel like it just looks really beautiful and flushed. So this may be a little dark horse product. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my hair together. Honestly, I don't have much hope for it, but we'll do our best and then I'll give you guys my final thoughts. All right, guys, so here's my finished makeup look, trying new products. Not my favorite, but I did find some products that I like, so I just kind of want to go over my thoughts. So my thoughts on the Letta fragrance, again, just love this brand. Can't wait to see what else they come out with. This is a warm, cozy, a little bit boozy, spicy fragrance for the fall and winter with a little bit of a pine twist. I think you would love this. And then let's move on to the eyeshadow palette. So I'm not sure how to feel about this because I feel like this blended beautifully. It was super easy to use. I mean, it is a basic palette, and I will say that my eye look took literally like 3 minutes. I mean, it was the easiest eye look ever. So ease of use, 10 out of 10. My only complaint is that the shimmers are just very lackluster. This would be the perfect palette, I would say, for every day if you're someone that's not really into shimmers, or if you have an office job and you just want something neutral to throw on and go. Of course, I'm gonna have to keep trying it out, but I do like that it has depth, and then it also has some lighter shades. So I like the mattes in here. The shimmers are just a little bit too subdued for my liking. I'm not really impressed, but also not hating the LYS mascara. I felt like it gave me length and it was buildable, but it didn't give me a ton of volume. I do think that it's nice because it wasn't messy, so I felt like it was easy to build up without getting all over. But again, it just wasn't anything special that I would tell you to run out and buy. The Glossier foundation, it's too early to tell. I'm gonna have to see how this wears throughout the day, although I really am not expecting much. It is one of the more comfortable, glowy foundations, I will say, but this is definitely dewy. When they say it's natural, I don't agree. I think the coverage is higher than they advertise, but it's also more glowy. If you have dry skin, you would probably love this. And this may be something that I would mix in with a matte foundation to give me that glow, because I do feel like my skin is looking quite glowy, but these type of foundations just really don't wear the best on me. So it may be one of those that, again, I can mix in, but if you have combo oily skin, probably gonna be a little bit too glowy for you. If you have dry skin, you're probably gonna love it. As I mentioned before, I think the Vive bronzer is a solid formula. Runs a little bit warm, at least this shade does, but you get a ton of product. It's a very thin, pigmented, blends easily, and the radiance in it is very, very, very mild. So it's not something that's gonna enhance your texture. So I think this is a really, really nice formula. I'm also quite impressed with this Yenza concealer. Because it's named the Serum Concealer, I thought it was gonna be very liquidy with no coverage, but it's quite thick, not in a bad way. And it actually gave me some beautiful coverage, great hydration, smooth on the under eye. So I'm excited to try this and more products from Yenza. And then of course, I love the Persona Multi-Sticks. Such a beautiful formula, and I love that they're expanding. So they have a ton of different shades to choose from. This shade is absolutely stunning, which is Guava. I would definitely recommend this if you've not tried the multi-sticks. They are really, really nice. I'm not sure how I feel about the Vive liquid highlighter yet. I think this just may be a product that isn't suited to my makeup style. It doesn't mesh with powder. So for me, I just don't see the point of this type of product if you're gonna powder like I do. And also, I don't really feel like it gives a huge amount of glow if you put it under your makeup from what I've tried. I just much prefer my Drunk Elephant Be Goldie drops, but again, I'll keep testing this out. I just think this is more geared towards makeup consumers that just don't wear a lot of powder. Still feeling just mediocre about the new ABH highlighter in Sun Idol. This is just a similar option to the Amrezy, but just not quite as good. I find that it's just a little bit drier maybe, and it feels like it sort of dusts around, but overall the formula is just not quite as nice as the Amrezy highlighter that we all know and love. Unfortunately, I'm not a huge fan of the pressed Easy Bake powder from Huda Beauty. I wish this just would have been the same formula but in a pressed version. I just don't get why there would be any sort of glow in a powder that's supposed to set and snatch the face. It just always enhances your texture. So that was disappointing for me. If you're looking for a smoothing powder, the Lunar Beauty is top tier. Also, the original Huda Beauty powder is great as well, but this just was a miss for me. I'm intrigued to keep playing around and trying these Makeup Forever blushes out. I feel like they have a ton of different colors, and it was just something that I hadn't heard a bunch of hype about, but I do think this formula is really nice. It's buildable. It's kind of hard pressed, but not to the point where you can't pick up product, but it makes it easy to not overdo it. Even though I did overdo it on purpose. I think these shades are really pretty too, so interested to try these more and maybe try a couple more colors. I'm not sure how I feel about the L'Oreal liquid lipstick just yet. This color is really pretty, but it didn't go with what I was wearing today, and I'll have to apply it in a thick layer to see how it feels, but I have a feeling it's one of those that's going to kind of have that little bit of tack when you rub your lips together, which is not my favorite, but I can deal with it if I really love the longevity and the color of of a lipstick, so I will keep testing this out and I will update my thoughts in a future video. And in terms of my thoughts on the e.l.f. lip oils, I feel like it's a solid formula. There's nothing really special about it. It's not bad by any means, but it just doesn't wow me. I would much rather splurge and get a nicer lip oil formula than pick this up. So I feel like it's an okay product from e.l.f., but I know they could have done better. And I just think overall, there's not been much buzz about these because they're just sort of an okay formula. All right, guys, so I think that is everything for this trying new makeup. I feel like it's not one of my better looks, but at least we did get to test out some products that I wanted to review for you guys. So I will continue to test these products out and update you guys in a future video. Of course, I will link everything that I talked about today down below in my description box. I will also link FabFitFun, so definitely check them out. Take advantage of that 20% off or that free gift with signing up. So all the information will be down below in my description box. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you're new here, I hope you stick around and subscribe. As always, thank you guys again so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.